Why is a depressing, mature psychological horror game that tackles some heavy themes called Mouthwashing? It sounds like a toothpaste ad, not a mental breakdown in space. Released in 2024 and developed by Wrong Organ, Mouthwashing is a short, strange and surreal story that is surprisingly effective and making you uncomfortable. So what's it about? You start in the cockpit of the Tulpa, a spaceship delivering unknown cargo. The journey is going to take 382 days and you're currently 147 days in. There is a warning on the screen: the ship will hit an asteroid if you don't steer the ship left. Your only option is to steer it to the right. You then turn off the autopilot and crash the ship. The game then follows the crew of the ship trying to survive the aftermath of the crash, whilst flashing back to before the crash to see what led up to it. Immediately, this is an interesting hook. Why would someone want to crash the ship, and how are the crew going to survive? You learn quickly they only have enough food for 4 months, and not enough oxygen to last that long. The ship and crew are small, so you'll get to know them intimately. Let's start with the ship. The ship is owned by a company called the Pony Express, who has a mascot called Polly, similar to the Vault Boy from Fallout. He is used on posters around the ship to promote company values and slogans. Like Polly says, "Don't be daft," which means it's your responsibility to keep yourself and the crew safe. Also, any medical expenses will be docked from your pay. You'll catch on quite quick the company does not care about you, and just wants profit. Very similar to companies in the Outer Worlds. Later on, you'll find out the company allows you to celebrate birthdays with cake. Only 1 birthday cake for a year though, for a crew of 5. It's a bit stingy, they have to take turns each year. Speaking of crew, let's meet them. First is Dasuki. He is on an internship he was forced to take by his rich mother. He is young and pretty chill. He's studying engineering under Swansea, the ship's chief engineer. He is a bit grumpy, on the older side, and is a recovering alcoholic. Next is Anya. She's the ship's medical officer. She's in charge of doing psych evaluations on everyone and treating injuries. The last 2 characters are the ones you play as. Jimmy is who you play as after the crash. He was the ship's co-pilot. He has to step up and take charge since the captain is in really bad shape because of the crash. The captain is Curly. You'll play as him during the flashbacks. You don't play as him after the crash because, I mean, look at him, he's lost all his limbs. It seems like he caused the crash as he took the most damage. So what do you actually do when you play as these characters? This is a story-focused game, so there isn't much in the gameplay department. You'll mostly be walking around the ship, talking to the crew and finding items. The puzzles are simple, but that's okay, this isn't about the challenge. It's basically simple stuff like following instructions or go find an axe. There are only a few challenging parts where you can fail. These are short sections where you have to avoid a creepy enemy, like a messed up version of Polly who is invisible. There is one unsettling thing that you'll have to do multiple times, and that's give Curly his pain meds. Anya doesn't want to do it because it upsets her too much. You have to open his mouth as he stares at you, and then the screen cuts to black and makes some horrible noises. I'm fine with the lack of gameplay if the story is good, so is it? I found the story to be really engaging. I think this has a lot to do with how the story is told. It's non-linear. At the start of each part, text will appear on the screen, like 3 days before the crash or 2 months after the crash, which is a good way of getting time across. Then it will throw a curveball like 2 hours till judgment. Like, what the fuck does that mean? I gotta find out. The game has really good writing, which is important because this is almost a visual novel. It got me to care about all the characters in such a short runtime. Each character has distinct personalities and their own problems they are dealing with. Like Curly before the crash was thinking about quitting his job because he's reached the top of the corporate ladder and worries he is wasting his life. Whilst Jimmy wants nothing more than to be in Curly's shoes and have some power and control. One of the best written sections is when Swansea is talking about when he used to drink and how it was the only time he was happy. It's truly sad and depressing and comes at a real low point for the character. The visuals for this scene are also excellent, with flashbacks to his life in the background. For our playable characters, you will play through their mental state, like in Silent Hill. The game has a lot of trippy sections with really sick visuals through the playthrough, like endless PT inspired hallways, or an area full of eyeballs, and it's up to you to figure out what it means. Does the character feel like they're always being watched? Or another part, you will fall for ages and end up in a place with a bunch of broken ladders, which symbolises the corporate ladder. They can be incredibly creative and visually stunning. Text can also flash on screen randomly to show what our characters are thinking, like "take responsibility" will appear whilst playing as Jimmy. This is because he is in charge now, or is he hiding something? It's cool and unsettling. I thought the ending was really well done and suited the story well, even if it isn't the happiest. I don't want to go into spoilers, I think this should be something you experience yourself. It's absolutely worth playing through, and it's only about 2 hours long. It's not just about survival, it's about guilt, revenge, and whether redemption is even possible 382 days from Earth. But I will talk about the visuals. The game uses a low poly look well. It adds to the unsettling feel of the game. Character models are surprisingly detailed for this style. You can tell when Swansea has started drinking again just by the look on his face. Environments look stylish and the use of colour throughout the game is spectacular. The game starts off with plain calm colours, but switches to harsh red when shit starts hitting the fan. The presentation is also on point. When the game wants to switch scenes, it will act like it's froze for a couple of seconds, which always made me panic. Then it will dissolve into the next scene. Every time the game froze for a few seconds before transitioning, I thought it crashed, which given the plot felt fitting. These were a very neat way of doing transitions. The music is also really good here. When the game wants you to feel dread, the music delivers, but it's not afraid to have calmer tracks for the more emotional moments, like when Curly is talking to Anya in front of a screen showing the moon. It will also use silent and nothing but the sound of your footsteps to put you on edge. Ultimately, I had a great time playing through Mouthwashing. It has a compelling story with complex characters and tackles some heavy themes well. Here it is with some stellar visuals and trippy levels, and you're in for a fun, if depressing, time. I would recommend this for anyone looking for a short experimental experience. Time to rank it, and no, this isn't going to end well for my mental health. I'm thinking number 33. This is a fantastic experience, just not one I can see myself coming back to anytime soon. Once you've seen the story, you've kind of done it, which is similar to Trover Saves the Universe, but Mouthwashing's story hits harder for me. I can't put it above Manhunt, which had a worse story, but the gameplay made up for it, at least for me. So yeah, new number 33. Wait, I didn't explain why it's called Mouthwashing. Don't end the video!